Wait a minute.
Okay.
This is the Unfiltered Podcast.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
I'm sure you can guess by now what we're going to talk about today, or what the next couple of minutes of your life is going to be about. So if you haven't got it, I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds if you're still confused on what we're going to talk about. Take a couple of seconds. Alright, now that everyone's on the same page, here is what I have to say. Birthdays should be holidays. Period. For those of you who are not convinced, give me a chance to persuade you, to convince you, to cajole you, to sway you, to influence you. But first, before I get into all of the synonyms that I just presented, let's do the word of the podcast. And the word of the podcast for this week is...
Boondoggle.
Yeah, this is fun to say, so I decided to have this as the word of the podcast. Boondoggle. It's a silly sounding word for a silly project. So it's useless or trivial piece of work is described as a...
Boondoggle.
That's right. So if this is your first time tuning in, I'm saying tuning in like this is the frequency that you're on and listening to me through radio. I'm sorry, I'm old. I will use this word while convincing you about birthdays, and you guys will have to come up with a sentence using...
Boondoggle.
I'm sorry, I like the way he says it. So... And you'll just comment on the Instagram post or the Facebook post or DM me, PM me, I don't know, all of those adjectives that you will need to get in touch with me, all of that. Actually, those are not adjectives. Okay, I'm just going to go take a English lesson after this recording. For now, let's just jump right into this, okay? So before I get into the reasoning of why birthdays should be a holiday, let me hit you with some statistics. More than 1 out of 3 U.S. citizens believes their birthdays should be federal holidays and entitle them to take off from work. Now, this is a study from YouGov Omnibus, and it's a survey that was taken in 2013 between May 28th and May 30th. Those are the statistics. 1 in 3 U.S. citizens. Now, I'm giving you just the statistics of the US because I actually tried digging into finding out more if I could, but I couldn't. This is the only survey that I came across that actually had some hard evidence statistics that I could present you with. So if this is just the US, can you just imagine, or the rest of the countries? Let's just make an educated guess and assume that 1 in 3 throughout the whole world would like to have their birthday as a holiday. But now that I've hit you with some statistics, let's get into the reasoning of why. Why should birthdays be a holiday? Now, I understand that we all celebrate birthdays differently. And I can give you an example myself. I love birthdays. I think birthdays are amazing. I get to make everything about me and make everything special and have everyone's attention on me and have everyone talk about me. I like that. Is that to say I like the attention? Yes, I do. I like it. Especially on my birthday because you get gifts and you feel so special and everyone comes to greet you and you get all these phone calls. And it's nice. You know, it's a day that you existed, that you came into existence. And obviously you can't remember the exact moment, but every year you celebrate the day that now is. I love celebrating birthdays. Whereas my friend is the exact opposite. If I was day, she would be night. She hates birthdays. She hates the attention. I forgot about cake. Birthdays are all about cake. I love cake. Cupcakes, ice cream cakes, just cakes in general on birthdays, just delicious. But my friend hates cakes. Doesn't like cutting the cakes, doesn't like her birthday, doesn't like the gifts, doesn't like the attention. Basically just despises when her birthday comes along. So I understand that everyone's way of celebrating or a way of looking at their birthday is different, which is why I think that we need to be able to encompass everyone's needs on their birthday. So there are some things that we do we do have universal traditions on birthdays. Like, I mean, everyone has a different view and perspective on a birthday, but we all think of cake and we all think of cutting and we all think of the birthday song. And that's something that's even my friend doesn't like to do it, but she still cuts cake and or we sing for her. That's still something that happens. So even though it's despised, it's still like a universal tradition that she does. And I know lots of people from all over the world celebrate birthdays in a very similar way, where there is overlap between the traditions, but there is still some overlap. Now, why I think birthdays should be a holiday is this, because it's a one day you get to, I don't think it should be the one and only, like you should be married to this day to set aside for yourself, but I do think that it is an opportunity to have that one day to just give yourself peace of mind, give yourself that moment or that day to just reflect on everything and just be by yourself. And it depends on how you want to celebrate your birthday. Like I said, it needs to encompass everyone's needs. So I would celebrate it with my friends and my family and have a whole day of it and make it as special as possible, whereas my friend would like something on the down low, maybe even not leave the house on that particular day. And so taking the day off or having that as a holiday for your birthday allows you to be able to do both ends of the spectrum if you wanted to. Another reason why I think taking a holiday on your birthday is very important, or should be something that is done worldwide, is that it's just really satisfying to do what you want to do on your birthday rather than to have to get up in the morning. I mean, you do have to get up in the morning, but have like the set schedule of the work that you have to do, of the meetings that you have to attend to, like all these things that you have to do on your birthday that you don't want to do. I mean, you have to do it on every other day or every single day. So why should you do it on a special occasion, on a special day? Give yourself a reason to take a break from that and do what you actually want to do. And it's extremely satisfying. It's extremely, extremely satisfying. Again, you get a chance to reflect on yourself, on the year that's gone and the year that's coming. I know that's like a New Year's thing, but also technically a year for you is the day that you were born, and then a year after would be the same day. So it gives you a chance to reflect on how you were the past year and how you want to be in the next year, or where you want to be by the time your next birthday comes around. And there's no better time to do that than your actual birthday. You just sit there and think about all this stuff. Might be depressing, which is why you need that option to be able to just celebrate and just go drink your worries away if that's something that you want to do, and you have a birthday trip. I know this is more easier said than done, but even if you wanted to have a birthday trip on your birthday, it could be possible if you actually had a holiday on that day. Speaking from experience, I know this was actually the first year that I was corporately working on my birthday, and it kind of sucked. I remember when I was in school and when it was my birthday or any of my classmates' birthdays, they would be cake and they would be a card that we'd write to that person, and it just be so special. This person gets all the attention and all the love. Even when you're not on good terms with somebody, you're still cordial with them on their birthday. You're still wishing them happiness and love and whatever that you do wish this person. And I remember on my birthdays, we used to get cake, and my friends would like trash me with egg and water and cake, and just I'd go home really dirty. And this is the same case for all my classmates. And I would actually look forward not even to my birthday, but to theirs as well, where I could orchestrate things where smashing cake on their face or putting egg down their sweater or something along those lines. And it's just everybody in the whole school knows that it's this person's birthday today, which is why they look like this. And it's nice. I mean, I'm sure it's not nice for the person whose birthday it is, but it's still really nice to think that all of these people put so much thought and energy into trying to make this day special. And then you come into working and it's just like boring. It's just like a card and a cake in the room that you don't even cut. It's just there for you. And it's just like, sometimes it's not even because of COVID. I mean, obviously I was working during COVID because it's my first year. So it was like a Zoom meeting where it's just like, it's her birthday, wish her. Like, okay, that's it. I mean, I appreciate the wishes, but I don't know if you understand what I mean by that sense of not having to work and instead have spent it with my family on that day. I would have gotten that love and not just a formality. So another reason why you should take the day off on your birthday. Now, if not the day off, maybe the day after. So this is something that I don't know if this is just me, but I hate the day after my birthday. It's like, I don't know how to describe it, but I think it's like when you're on this incredible high and then you just crush down. So it's like the lowest point is the next day. Just like this really nice high all through your birthday, and then it just falls the next day, like boom. So maybe the next day to just like replenish yourself and get your thoughts in order and just relax and maybe cry about the next couple. Okay, you know what? I do a lot of crying. If you listen to the past couple of episodes, I think my solution or my reaction to anything is I cry. So crying is what I find is very soulful on the day after your birthday. Just if you guys want to go ahead and try it. Let me know what it feels like after. But, you know, just even the day after. Maybe not just to cry, but to give yourself that cushion for going to work. If you just had like a crazy night out with your friends, or you had a birthday trip and you're exhausted and you just don't want to get out of bed. So you have that cushion to just get yourself, again, ready to go back into work the following day. So if not the day off, the day after. Not convinced, I know. I didn't think I'd be able to sway all of you into thinking that every single person's birthday should be, or not, just not every single, but birthday should be a holiday, period. That's okay. Maybe I changed. I'd like to think, not maybe, but I'd like to think I did change. But if not a holiday, I think it should be an option that you can take a holiday. So I know most adults, not very recently, I mean, I'm an adult now, so very recently, are kind of used to spending weekday birthdays at work, you know, with like I said, coworkers and work and meetings and all of that. I've actually discovered during this whole research that this year or last year, more and more companies are offering an alternative form of celebration. So it's like, happy birthday, we'll pay you not to work today. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. Though this practice is not a workplace standard yet, I think it should be. So even if you don't want to take the option of taking the day off, you still do. The companies are like, hey, don't worry, take the day off, we'll pay you. That's your birthday gift. And I think that everyone deserves that, because we all work very hard. We're all have a set goal in mind. Some of us have to put food on the table. Some of us have to pay bills. And being an adult comes with all these other problems. And so a company being able to say that to you, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And I think it should be a practice that should be standard everywhere in the world. And again, always an option if you want to take them on that or not. So I conclude with that. If you have another argument why it shouldn't be or why it should be, again, social medias, contact me any form of way that you may wish, and I shall respond. Before we go, I will be going to, and you will be too. So today, the place that we're going to go to is Tashkent. So Tashkent is a city in Uzbekistan. It's actually its capital city, and it's known for its many museums and a mix of modern and Soviet era architecture. So there are a couple of things that I found really interesting when I was digging. So Tashkent is the capital city of Uzbekistan, like I said, and it has many, many interesting places for visitors. I actually didn't even know about this city until I did this research. So on the tourism circuit, Tashkent is one of the fastest growing cities in the entire Central Asian region. Now, this is based off of an article, so I don't really know how truthful that is, but I just wanted to put it out there because I'm assuming I didn't do much research to validate that statement, but it is based off of an article. I mean, based off of what I read and what I saw, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually is one of the fastest growing cities. So there is a minor mosque that has been built very recently, which is really nice. But together with the architecture, there is quite a breathtaking natural world as well. Think of ice and you think of snow and you think of cold. But there is a lake, Charvak. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I apologize if I'm not. But it is a water reservoir in the northern side of Tashkent. And this lake is huge. The reservoir is actually placed at the junction of two mountain rivers, and they're called Chatkal and Pskem, Pskem. But what's actually really interesting to know as a visitor is that you can actually swim in this lake. Yeah, you can actually take a bath in this lake, actually, even if you wanted to. It has pristine waters, and there's like other water sports that you could obviously do on the lake, but this is a clean reservoir that you could bathe in. I thought it was really cool to mention. So the currency used in Uzbekistan, and it applies to Tashkent obviously because it's a capital city. So the currency is Uzbekistani som. So $1 gives you 10,630 Uzbekistani som. I'm not going to get into the economics of why it's such a big range, but that's what it is. Now I'm going to do this people also ask thing where we can put aside any stereotypes against the country. So one of the questions is, do they speak English in Tashkent? This is a very common, very, very common question. I used to think it was just targeted towards African countries, but more so recently I can see that this is something that anywhere outside of the United States people need to ask if they speak English or not, which is completely fair. I think that's a valid question to ask. So to answer that question, English is not nearly as widely spoken in Uzbekistan as it is in Western Europe and even Russia. Although more and more people are learning it and are implementing that language into their daily lives, it's still not as widespoken as the rest of the countries. But the language that is spoken there, Uzbek, is one of the languages, and a lot of Persian ones too. I would tell you what they are, but I don't think pronunciation. I think my pronunciation is gonna slaughter the words or the names of the languages, so I'm really not going to. If you're really curious, you can go ahead and Google it. Maybe even teach me how to pronounce them. The next question is Uzbekistan safe for tourists? Yes. Unlike its neighbors, Uzbekistan is generally safe for visitors. This is another a travel question is, do you need a visa to go into Uzbekistan? Yes, you do. All U.S. citizens traveling to Uzbekistan must have a visa to enter the country. I'm reading this off of the Passport Health USA. I can quickly do a search on who can enter Uzbekistan without a visa. So these are all the European Union citizens, Armenia, China, Hong Kong, Macau. Okay, so not a lot, but there are a couple of countries that can, and a couple of citizens that can enter Uzbekistan without the visa, but you have to go into deep because it says if you're going for 90 days and you don't need a visa, for 10 days you do need a visa. So it's kind of more details if you're going, but US citizens definitely need a visa to get into the country. All right, so that is it for me. Actually, it cannot be it for me because I didn't even use the word of the podcast this week. That's really bad. I feel like I'm just boondoggling my work here. Honestly, that's what it feels like. Correct me if I'm wrong, because at this point, that's what I'm doing. Anyway, see what I did there? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my social medias, which are insane. If you're already following me, then you can go ahead and not listen to the long list of social medias that I'm about to list. So let's start with Instagram. So if you're following me on Instagram, it's unfiltered for you. The 4 is a number and the U is a letter. So it's just unfiltered for you. If you're following me on Facebook, it's again unfiltered for you. If it's Twitter, it's _unfiltered_ for you. It's really complicated on Twitter because Twitter's been around for a while, so it's kind of hard to get a username that's not already taken. But also, if you want to visit the website, which has hyperlinks to everything, and I would suggest that you do that. You can also just listen to any episode on the website if you feel you want to. It's unfilteredforyou.com, and every information that you're looking for is there. And I also have a monthly subscription where I will send you my latest jams, and along with the countries or the cities or basically the places that I talk about with the words of the podcast, if you're just looking for a snapshot of the month. go ahead and subscribe. I promise you I will not spam. I hate when people spam me, and I will not do the same to you guys. Trust me. But yeah, that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.